There was one character in this series that had me feeling cranky and yelling at the screen, and I'm pretty sure you can guess who I am talking about. One of the most interesting things about Dune Prophecy is how it manages to be connected to the films that we are familiar with and yet feel like an entirely different thing. I mean, for me, this show felt more like I was watching something like Star Wars or Blade Runner or Star Trek. It felt more old school sci-fi with all the futuristic tech and everything. But is that a good thing? Is Dune Prophecy worth checking out? Let's discuss. 2024 has been one hell of an awesome year for fans of Frank Herbert. Not only did we get the fantastic Dune Part 2, but we are getting this side story that's giving us even more immersion into this already really interesting world. Warner Brothers definitely seems to be going all in on expanding the mythos behind some of their most famous franchises. We got The Penguin that told more about the Matt Reeves Batman universe, and now we have this one. It took me a little bit to be truly pulled into the show because you are thrust into this world that is already in full swing and you are asked to catch up or be left behind. Dune Prophecy stars Emily Watson, Olivia Williams, Travis Fimmel, Jodhi May, Chris Mason, and Mark Strong. In this series, we are learning more about those women that have just really bad fashion sense, the Bene Gesserit. Prequels can be pretty hit and miss with audiences, and many people claim that they seem pointless, but I disagree with that sentiment, and I think that this series is more proof why. One thing you glean from this show is that the Harkonnens were once high in the ranks of the Bene Gesserit. In fact, Emily Watson's character, Valia Harkonnen, is the Mother Supreme, and this woman is not a good person by any stretch of the imagination. Through flashbacks, you get a pretty full picture of who this woman was before you see her in the start of the show, and she comes off as a very ruthless schemer. And it makes sense, just look at the fat-ass Harkonnen guy from the first two Dune movies. It just seems like it runs in the blood to be terrible, terrible people. And yet, she's our main character, so once again, we are following around a character of questionable morals. Hollywood really loves to have people following the bad guys lately. Emily Watson may be one of the biggest characters in this series, but she is not alone. There is a tremendous supporting cast, each of them bringing something special to the table. Mark Strong has himself a pretty distinguished career, and it's not hard to see why he was chosen for this role. It's the kind of role I think he was born to play. There was one character in this series that had me feeling cranky and yelling at the screen every time this person showed up, and I'm pretty sure you can guess who I am talking about. That's right, it's this bitch. Travis Fimmel does a great job as this mysterious and dangerous man who ends up coming into the service of the Emperor and reveals pretty quickly that he's a man with a plan. And no, he's not planning a party, he's planning doom and destruction. His character is the kind of character you are going to be rooting to lose. He's a dirty looking man with a chip on his shoulder and a bad attitude, but he also has something extra just creepy about him. He has some abilities that you see throughout the series that make him somebody to be truly terrified of. He's kind of like the Joker, in my opinion, in the fact that he is just basically a case of anarchy. So if you're looking for a show that has an infuriating character, but I mean that in the best way, then check out this show because this motherfucker is a scheming little bitch. The way this show was made fits right in with the very best of Warner Brothers and HBO. The graphics and sound direction are both stellar, and you can see the huge amount of effort that the creators took when they created this series. I had the surround sound cranked up extremely loud when I was watching this show. I wanted that full immersive experience, and this series definitely delivered that. I just loved the way all the different surround effects were mapped for different speakers, and you can really tell that they were planning on the audience members watching this series with a good sound system because the Atmos track, the surround track, it's all just so well done. I found myself more and more drawn in with each episode. There's such an intriguing mystery taking place in this series. There's so many questions going on, and I'm all about it. And like I mentioned earlier in this review, if you didn't see the women with their bad robes and the giant sandworms, you wouldn't even think that this is connected to those Dune movies. It feels very much like its own thing. It's remarkably incredibly well made and had me eager for Sunday night in a way that I haven't felt since House of the Dragon Season 2 ended. This show does a lot right, and I was honestly trying to think of things that I could do to deduct the score and bring it lower, because I don't like handing out high scores, but I couldn't really think of anything. So for me, I'm giving this series a 10, and trust me, I do not do that lightly. This is a really well-made show, and if you're a fan of those two Dune movies, or if you're just someone who loves a good classic sci-fi, then I think you're going to really enjoy the show. It knocks those things right out of the park. It's cinematic, the actors are all at the top of their game, and it builds a compelling story that made me eager for the next episode. And what more can you ask for in a series than that? So those are my thoughts on this series. What did you guys think of it? Please put your thoughts on it in the comments and let me know. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did or did you not like about it? And if you liked this video, please go ahead and hit the like button to let me know you liked it. And if you want to hear more things from me, you know the drill. Subscribe to this channel. Later.